But Jenny, you have to unmute yourself too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I just started the recording, so you can go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to share the screen. Okay. Let me try to... Sorry, I'm not so smooth at this yet. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So can everyone, well, I guess I can't even know if you guys can hear me.
They're all muted. Just unmute. If you guys have any trouble, just unmute yourself and speak up. So I'm Jenny. I'm not gonna that's Carly. So we're kind of a mix of teams here tonight. We have some from Team Sea Stars, I think Heather, and then my team, Pacific North Wonderland, we have a couple coaches, and then Carly, Team No Name. We have a couple coaches from your team as well. So I think most of you guys are all pretty new coaches, and this is something that is really important to get started on the right foot. So we wanted to share our experiences. I know that with my business center, it's a lot different than most coaches. And so since talking with Carly, her and I have sort of found each other and have been working together strategy-wise and have become success partners so far. And I wanted her to share with my coaches on my team what she has found success with as far as building her weak leg versus strong leg, how to add coaches. And so I wanted and asked her to share with my coaches. So she said that she would. So thank you, Carly, for doing that. So let me know, Carly, if there's anything that you want to say before we get started.
Just usually on Teams calls, like we don't unmute each other or ourselves very often, but for this one, because the information is like, I'm going to explain it as best as I can, but if you guys have questions, I wish that you were sitting in front of me so you could just like raise your hand and like let me know, but we can't do that. So just like unmute yourself and let me know so that I can rephrase what I just said or, something, because I do really want you guys to understand it. And it's really actually not very complicated, but it can easily become complicated if we don't know what we're saying. So
on the side too, on the right, there is, I think on the right, wherever you guys have it, there is a chat option. And so if you guys have any questions, you can also type it into the chat.
Okay, so Jenny, you watch the chat because my screen is completely the presentation.
Yeah, so good. Okay, all right. All right, can you get it to the next slide?
Okay.
So I just kind of wanted to start with telling you guys what kind of coaches there are. This presentation in general, we're going to be focusing on business builders. And if you were invited on this call, you don't necessarily have to be a business builder, but the ones that we're focused on are. So if you're just a hobby coach or if you're just using it for your 25% off, this is good information for the future, but really this is for the business builders primarily. So a discount coach, you drink your Shakeology regularly every day. You are probably in a challenge group with a coach. You don't do any sales, you just use the 25% off. It's pretty self-explanatory, you're a discount coach. A hobby coach is someone who has decided that they really like the products and they start sharing on their own timeline and sort of inviting people in their life to do it, but might not be aggressively, working the business. You're just earning a little bit of extra side income. We all sort of start out as hobby coaches, but some of us just go all in right away. But the reason I say some of us start out as hobby coaches is because, we don't all earn huge income right away. But if you move from hobby coach to business builder, that's where the majority of you guys on this call are now. Hey, Erica, meet it, hi. So a business builder is what you guys are. So you're all in, you're ready to learn, and you want to build a life of freedom, whether that means keeping your full-time job and making a good enough side income that, say, when like my boss takes a lot of time off. And so when, when my boss takes 2 weeks off work, I don't have to worry about like, how much vacation do I have? So that's a life of freedom for me. Means something different for everybody, but that's your choice how to build a life of freedom. But that's what it means to be a business builder. You can do that for yourself. And then you are also teaching your team how to do that as well. So that's the biggest difference. Again, this is focused on you business builders, but there's nothing wrong with being the other two coaches. We actually need those in our business, to move it forward either way. So.
Yeah. So we just say that so that if you're planning to be a hobby coach and you hear all this information, don't get overwhelmed, because you can still continue exactly what you're doing. Like, you don't have to worry about all of these things. But if you want to build your business in the future, then these are some things to consider. So when you first sign up, you are going to have the first goal is to become Emerald. And if you don't know what Emerald is already, it's having a discount coach on your left side and a discount coach on your right side. That discount coach could be an actual coach that wants to build the business, but usually when you start, you haven't found anyone that wants to build the business with you because you are just starting out. So a lot of times those first two coaches end up being like your sister or your mom or your husband, like someone close to you that you're just like, hey, do you want to join me in this? And we can keep each other accountable. And so they're just the first people that you're able to sign. You don't really they don't know if you're a good coach or not. So it's just usually people that are close to you. But once you get those first two coaches and you become Emerald, that is when things start happening. And so that's why it's your first goal is to get evenly balanced, one on your left and one on your right. Your second goal is to get your Shakeology paid for. So some people, that's their goal the whole time that they're coaching. They just want to get their products paid for. And that's a great goal. Like there's actually a lot of coaches that, they love Shakeology. They know all of the good effects that come from Shakeology, but they just don't want to pay the fees for it. So to get your Shakeology paid for, you got to sign up 3 people. So 3 people a month if those are coaches. So once you become Emerald, you have 2 coaches, and then the third one is going to be somebody has background noise.
Might be me.
You think? It wasn't doing it before. Okay, let's see if okay. So if you sign up your 2 coaches to become Emerald, then you just need 1 customer to get your Shakeology paid for, or your original challenge pack paid for. And then, so third goal is to get to Success Club 5, which if you do get your Shakeology paid for, then you probably got to Success Club 5 by selling 3 challenge packs. Because the challenge packs are by far the best deal. So we want to always shoot for selling challenge packs since they set everyone up for success. And then after that, your goal is Success Club 10. But when you're first starting out, like Success Club 10 seems kind of daunting. So the first 3 goals right there are really the ones that we shoot for, especially in your first couple months. So become Emerald, get your Shakeology paid for, and Success Club 5. If you hit all of those, you are doing fantastic, like really, really, really well. So we want to keep it simple because really this business isn't very complex. It's pretty simple. So knowing those goals and how to get there is key. So, okay.
So I just want to preface this information with, don't be overwhelmed. If there's something that you have questions about, make sure that you ask us. This is something that you want to take bit by bit, piece by piece. You will learn so much more about volume as you delve further into coaching. So if you are a brand new coach and you're like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't feel like you're the only one, because I literally had no idea what this stuff meant for probably my first 4 months of coaching. It just took me digging and Googling and looking through my Coach Online office. So use your resources, myself, Carly, whoever your coach is. Ask questions, but don't feel any bit stupid or anything like that if you don't understand it, because it was really confusing to me in the beginning. So I just wanted to say that. So volume is kind of what your, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not even going to try and look for a word. So personal volume comes from personal orders, like your own Shakeology, or, like when I buy Energize, that would go under my personal order. Customer orders, like meaning not discount coaches, actually count towards your personal volume as well. I can't remember, Carly, if we're going to cover this in a second, but just as a base, you yourself as a coach rank or Emerald coach need 50 personal volume to stay active. Success Club is totally separate, and we'll get there, but that's kind of just a general idea of what volume does and what the point of it is. It kind of keeps you active. And so team volume is what comes from your coaches. Not only your personal coaches, your personally sponsored coaches, but when you start to build a team, and like my personally sponsored coaches, I'm using my hands, but you guys can't see it. My personally sponsored coaches, their coaches, that volume comes to me too. So it sort of works like a tree, and I'm sure we'll show a diagram here at the end. But team volume, the most important thing to remember is that team volume comes from coaches, and personal volume comes from both yourself and your customers. And that is why Carly said that before, when you're trying to pay for your Shakeology, you need to have discount coaches and customers, because they are good for different things. So your coaches will give you team volume, whereas your personal volume and customer orders, that'll go for the commission to pay for your Shakeology. So that makes sense. Next slide, please.
And also, just one thing, when she said that you need 50 personal volume points to be active, if you're drinking Shakeology, that gives you 90. So if you're trying to do coaching without Shakeology, then it's going to be a little bit, you're going to have to watch it really close. But if you're drinking Shakeology every month, then it's just going to happen for you anyways. You'll be active. So that's why, like, discount coaches, they're not working the business at all, but they're drinking Shakeology. So they're always active without even thinking about it. Okay. So this is where it gets a little bit more complex. So you have a weak leg and a strong leg. When how it's hard when you can't, can you guys see me? Like, are you guys looking at me?
Yes, I think they're all nodding yes.
Okay, good. Okay. So how, like, you're Emerald, and then you have someone on your right, someone on your left. Well, even if you didn't know it, you put somebody on your strong leg and somebody on your weak leg. And the way that you know which one is your weak leg and which one is your strong leg actually depends on your placement of your upline coach. So if you're under me and you're on my right leg, then your right leg is going to be your strong leg and your left leg is going to be your weak leg. If you're under Jenny, and same thing. If you're on her right leg, your right leg is going to be your strong leg and your weak leg is going to be your left leg. So just know that, and just let us know, like, ask us which leg you're on, and then you'll know which one is your strong leg and which one is your weak leg. So the reason why they're called weak and strong legs is because, so everyone look at me. So if my head, I was going to write this on a whiteboard, but I think I can do it like this. So if my head is like you, and then you have your legs like this way and this way. So say, let's see, Erica, she's on my left leg. So that means that if she's right, so this is me, this is Erica. That means that her left leg, this is opposite of you guys. Sorry. Well, anyways, okay. So her leg over here on the outer rim of this triangle is going to be her strong leg. So this is backwards for you guys. So she's on my, I'm going to say it to be accurate to you guys. She's on my right over here on my right leg. And so her right leg is going to be her strong leg. So I don't know if that makes any sense. But so it just know like, yeah, right and left doesn't mean weak and strong. It's going to be individualized for your individual account, because how it works is this triangle, the tree, all of the outer legs are going to be their strong legs. And what that means, what your strong leg means is that, so for Erica over here, when I sign a coach, because they're either going to go on this leg or this leg, anytime that I sign another coach on this leg, they're actually going to be signed underneath her, because this tree, according to me, only has 2 branches down. So I signed me, then I signed Erica. Then if I signed, like Antonia, I signed her, say she was on the same leg as Erica, she's actually going to be underneath Erica. And on Erica's genealogy chart, if you ever went in your Coach Online office, you might have saw like the genealogy and you see all these names that you don't actually really recognize. Like you're like, who are these people? Like I didn't sign them up. Well, those random people are actually people from your upline. So you're like, my signups help Erica or help anybody that's underneath me on that specific leg. So they automatically go to her strong leg. So the outer leg, whatever that one is. But the weak leg, that one you're building all by yourself. So, okay. Any questions on that? That's really confusing, I think. Does anyone have any questions before I'll keep going?
In the chat.
There's questions in the chat?
No, I was sorry. If I was saying, if you guys have any questions, just type them in the chat and I'll call them out to Carly, but I don't think there are any questions so far.
Okay. So your strong leg, like I said, you have help. So your upline people or your upline coach, their signups are helping your strong leg, which is really, really nice. Your strong leg is just going to grow without you even trying. If you just sat there and didn't sign anyone, your strong leg is still getting signed up without even building anything. Your weak leg, that's the one that you have to focus on a little more. So, for team cycle bonuses, hopefully you're a little bit familiar with the words team cycle bonus, but what happens is every time you have a total team volume of 300, then you get a cycle. And so they are going to take 200 off of your strong leg and 100 off of your weak leg. And every single time that they can do that for that week period, you're going to get, for Emerald, it's $14. So they're going to go 200, 100, you get $14. 200, 100, you get $14. Until they can't match up 200 and 100 on each side, then all of that volume will carry over to the next week. So since 200 is double 100, when you're looking at your legs and the volume under the legs, you want to aim for your strong leg being double your weak leg. Because if they were like even, then your strong leg will, all of the volume will disappear in those cycles faster and you'll have more volume on your weak leg. It will carry over to the next week, but you want to make as much money in the current week as you can and then do the same the next week. So since I have quite a few coach signups so far, like I haven't been coaching very long, so it's not a ton, but just recently I've been starting to put more people on my left leg on my weak leg. Don't think about left and right. On my weak leg than I do on my strong leg, because I'm trying to make it double and double on the one and half as much on the other one. But that being said, when you're starting out, you just want to go like when you were Emerald, you put one on one leg, one on the other, one on the other leg, one, 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 one. And then your upline coach is always going to be watching your account and making sure everything's okay. So when you're going one, 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 eventually your upline coach will be like, okay, work on just the one leg. So we always help you, but it is kind of nice to kind of have an overview of what is going to happen in the future and what all this talk about team cycle bonuses, what it even means. So I hope that kind of gives you a kind of a brief explanation on what it actually is. And there is some strategy to it. It just doesn't just happen, but you can actually maximize your earnings if you can keep on top of where you're signing people to each leg.
And then two, I don't think that this is something that we cover, but just so that you guys know for down the road, and this is not something that I know to be true yet because I've only been coaching for 6 months, but I know from seeing other coaches, you know, commissions and things like that on videos and team calls and such, your team cycle bonuses are really where you make the big money. And of course, I don't know if it's necessary to have the like Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of success, whatever. It always is what you put into it. But eventually retail sales hit a cap. I mean, you might have experienced this already. You can keep yourself at a particular level, that being, you know, maybe SC10, but you're not always going to make, you know, thousands of dollars on retail sales. It's just not how it works. You would work yourself to the bone. So that's why you want to focus so hard on being able to build a team, because not only are you helping them, but they of course are helping you. And that's why I personally like the structure of the company so much, because it's really, you're always constantly helping each other. But I just wanted to point out that if you do see top coaches and you see their commissions, their majority of their money is coming from team cycle bonuses. And so that's why this is so important and why we wanted to share that with you guys, because even though it's early on and it might not mean a lot to you yet, it doesn't even mean that much to me yet, but I know that it will. And so I know that I want to do this to build a good base. So that's my hope for my coaches and for the rest of you guys on the call, is to have a really solid base for your business. And this is what that's going to do. So that's the only thing that I wanted to add about the team cycle bonuses, is that, trust me, in the beginning, you're going to be like, woohoo, $14, you know, but now for me, I know like when I see like $28 or something, I'm like, ooh, yeah. And I get really excited. So it starts to matter more and more. And you guys will notice it maybe down the road or maybe sooner, depending on how you do this. So if you want to talk to
it, it's slow at first. And
Yeah.
then as you go along, it's going to be like, you know, a graph like that. It's going to compound effect, not like a straight line. So it's kind of it. Yeah. Anyways, the team cycle bonuses are good.
So we've talked about, you know, where to put which coach, just in case you're not familiar with how to change your preferred placement. Like Carly said, as your upline coaches, and then you should know this as you guys start to build a team, it's not required of you by any means to monitor your coach's placement, but it will help them a lot when it comes to their success. And then that'll just teach them later on how to handle their teams. So that's why we're doing this for you guys, is just to set you up well. So how to change your preferred placement. If we contact you and say, okay, actually that coach, and actually Rachel and I had this the other day where she needed to change the placement of a coach. You can change the placement of a coach within 5 days of their sign up. After that, they are where they are. And coming from someone who has regretted putting someone somewhere, make sure that you're getting this right before you sign someone, because I know that it's really exciting when you want to send someone the link and you're like, yeah, woo, here, sign up. If you don't remember to do this, then it's more hassle than it's worth. So just remember to be on top of this, but we'll catch it if you don't. So go into your coach online office. Hopefully you guys are decently familiar with it. If not, that's fine. You'll get there. You can go to the My Business tab, hover over it at the top. It's the very top option. I've clicked on it accidentally a ton of times. You clicked My Preferred Placement and you change manually for it to say right or left and click Save. every single time you want to change this, you go in, you save it, then you can send the link. It's super, super fast, but just make sure that you're staying on top of this. But remember that if you do make a mistake, you have 5 days to change the preferred placement, and you do that by contacting Coach Relations via email, and you request a genealogy change. So that's pretty easy.
But if you're not looking at your Coach Online office, it probably doesn't sound super easy, but it actually is once you get in there.
I mean, you literally, like I said, I click on it all the time accidentally, just because you literally hover over the My Business tab, and it's like the first thing that your mouse goes to. You just click on that. So when we talked about becoming Emerald, when that was like such a huge first goal, hitting Success Club is pretty obvious. Because that means that you're selling challenge packs, you're, moving your business forward. But why is getting Emerald so important and hitting Success Club at the same time? Why is that so important? One of the huge, huge benefits that Beachbody gives us, and this is not something that's very common in a company like this. I know that from experience from other companies, this is something that's very, very unique and very cool. So we get free leads in this company. Success Club 5 is a little different than Success Club 10, so we'll kind of go through the difference. So the requirements for both free leads and free paid leads. And what we mean by free paid leads is that you get commission off of the leads right when they get placed in your customer list, versus the free leads you don't make money on right away. So the requirements are that you are an Emerald coach. You are paid up for your business service fee. That's the $15.95 a month. You need to have a teambeachbody.com club membership. And what that means to you guys, if it means nothing, the Beachbody On Demand membership, that's a part of a club membership. So when you pay that $38.87 a quarter or $2.99 a week, that is your club membership, and you do want to keep that active. I know that it's really, really tempting if you use the DVDs to cancel that, because I asked that question in our main coach group, like, do I need this? And actually, Carly, that was one of our first interactions. You said, yeah, you do. You need that for the leads. So don't cancel that. And if you have canceled that, if you decide to become Emerald and be active, then you'll want to re-up that. Within that teambeachbody.com club membership, there is like a profile page, and there are a couple things that you need to do in order to make yourself eligible for leads. You need to put in a bio about yourself. It can be really, really short. There's no requirement there. You need to have a before picture, and that can just be like a profile picture. You need to hit Success Club 5, and along with that Success Club 5 comes that 90 home direct personal volume. You can't hit Success Club unless you have 90 personal volume on home direct. You guys will see that right when you log into your Coach Online office. It's going to be like a box. It'll say Success Club, qualified or not qualified. That's what that total home direct personal PV or whatever it says. That's what that box means. So if you've hit Success Club and you're qualified, you're automatically going to have that 90 home direct PV. So those are the biggest requirements for both of the categories.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
When I first heard about the free leads requirements, my first thought was like, oh, this is their way to get people on demand, and this is their way to get people to drink Shakeology. This is kind of when I first started. But now that I've gone along with it, I've realized that Beachbody is giving us free leads. So that means they're entrusting us with their customers to help their customers to the best of our ability. And so a lot of those customers come from them signing up for the free 30-day trial on demand. And so if we don't have that, we won't be able to help them if they have a question on the meal planning tools or on something else on there. And the other thing is a lot of those people signed up with Shakeology because Shakeology is so popular. And so if we aren't even drinking Shakeology, then, I mean, we can't really help them to the best of our ability. Like we need to have a testimony of those two products ourselves. So now that I've like made that connection, like, oh, okay, that makes more sense why we're required to do that, because we need to be a product of the product. Yeah. So anyways, it's not just a ploy to get more business for them. It's actually to like set us up to help them. But the other thing is you don't have to get these free leads if you don't want to. You can just be an active coach and not be a part of the Success Club program. That's totally fine. This is just an option that Beachbody gives us, but we have to meet these requirements in order to get that option.
That's exactly what I think too. That's always the way that I've sort of reasoned with myself that it's required to have that home direct, is because we need to be a product of the product. And what better way to remind us of that gently than having that be a requirement for Success Club. So I've always thought the same thing too. And I was getting a text from my family. I feel really bad, but you might have already said this, but this is like people that buy on Amazon or Beachbody.com or the infomercials, that they're not signing up with a coach. You won't ever have somebody sign up through you and then have them assigned to somebody. So that's where those people are coming from. So the free leads come to you generally, what I've experienced, and you can't see what they order, so it's really hard if they don't ever respond to you, but they will come to you from many walks. So if they bought a challenge pack, they will come to you as a free lead. If they went online and signed up for a free 30-day trial and that's it, they will come. I have the hiccups, I'm sorry guys. They will come to you. But you will only see just the $0. You won't make any commission off of that first order, I guess, that gets placed with you. So you will later on, they're your customer. So if they have that club, that's the easiest one. If they have that club membership and they don't cancel it after their 30 days, you're going to see that $38.87 pop up. That will be your commission. You will make money off that. Any future orders that they make, they're your customer. You will make commission off of them. Later on down the road, not in this call, that's a time for another, or that's for another time, we'll go over how to contact those leads. If you hit SC10, which is something that I know both Carly and I have done, totally worth it. I know since I started, I've had at least like 3 or 4 a month placed into my customer list who have been commissioned right off the bat. So you say they order Shakeology, you get that $32.50 or whatever the commission is right on their first order, and then from then on out. So it's not just somebody being placed that you have to contact. You make money off of them right away. And so that's the biggest difference between the free leads and the free paid leads. Success Club 5, you do get those leads and you will make money on them afterwards, but the initial sign up, you don't make any money unless you hit SC10. Those people get put in. And then just to kind of explain one other thing, how Beachbody does it. So your coach ID is like a random number, like mine starts with a 9 or whatever. So they go down the line from the very first coach, number 1, all the way through the end of the line. And anybody who qualifies for a free lead or a free paid lead, they place there. Then they move on to the next one. If somebody doesn't qualify, they skip over them and then they just go in a wheel like that. So it is 100% fair. There's no top coach who gets more free leads and free paid leads. Everybody gets the same exact amount. And so that's something else that I thought I would mention too, because even the bottom Success Club 10, versus Success Club 50, it doesn't matter where you are in the business, you get the same advantage as top coaches do. So everybody gets the same chance. So that's really huge too. So this is a huge, huge reason to push for Success Club, because this is a huge reward that you get. And a lot of these customers are awesome people who you would have never, ever had access to otherwise.
And one more thing, there's only 2 main rungs, Success Club 5 and Success Club 10. If you get higher than that, it still is called like Success Club 20 or whatever, but it doesn't give you anything extra. So Success Club 10 is like the top when you get something more. I mean, you're growing your business faster if you get more than that, but I was kind of confused at that at first. I was like, well, what happens when you get to 12? Like, does it just stop at 10? But anyways, they keep adding. It just doesn't, you don't get anything more for getting higher than Success Club 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the main reasons why we wanted to do this call, but the slides before this are ones that will give you the knowledge of what we're actually even talking about. So we needed to go through those things first. So one thing that we want to give you guys all a heads up on is adding a significant other center. That's what we're calling it. Which what that means is if you sign your, I have my husband signed. You could sign your mom. You could sign your sister. Just someone that they would be willing to let you work their account. So why we wanted to tell you guys this is what top coaches do, and it pays off a lot. And I've already seen the payoff from doing it with Jeff. Most months he makes like $300 in his account, and Jeff does not coach. He's never exercised this whole time I've started, I think once. So anyways, he isn't coached. He doesn't do Beachbody. I hope someday he coaches and then he'll be able to take over his account. And lucky for him, I've already been building it this whole time. But the reason why we want to tell you guys about doing this is because it really does make your amount of money that you earn with the business, it increases it quite a bit. And so if we didn't tell you this, and then down the road, you'd probably be like, why? Because I was a business builder and I might have wanted to do this. So it's not required that you do this, but it is a really good strategy to advance your income and grow your business. So you, okay, so where you want to place it. Okay, so we want you to sign up a significant other center if you want to grow your business, and if after I explain this, it sounds like something that you want to take on and do. So if you decided, yes, you wanted to do this, this is what the next steps are. Where you'd want to place that your husband, I'm just going to use your husband. Probably not all of you guys have husbands, so it could be in your mom, like I said, anybody that's you're able to use their information and run their account. So they should go on the top of your weak leg. So if you don't know which one is your weak leg, talk to your upline coach and we'll let you know which one that is. And if you've already signed up your significant other center, then you probably did on the right one because we've probably guided you in the right way. So why it needs to be on your weak leg, it could be on your strong leg, but why it's best on your weak leg is because, like I said, your weak leg is the one that you're building completely on your own. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to build up your business first. So starting on September 1st, I'm going to be adding all of my coach signups to my account. But then when I get to Success Club 10, for those free paid leads, like I said, there's only 2 rungs, Success Club 5 and Success Club 10. So for me, my goal is to always get my business to Success Club 10. That may not be your goal. Maybe your goal is to get to Success Club 5 every month and then switch over to your husband's account. But for me, my goal is to get to Success Club 10. So I get there and then I switch over to Jeff's account and I sign up discount coaches under him. And actually Antonia, who's on this call, she's actually under my husband's account. So why this is good, there's quite a few reasons, but one reason, it's on the top of your weak leg. So when I'm working on my account, I'm adding people to my strong leg, weak leg, strong leg, weak leg, maybe a little extra to my weak leg. But when I switch over to my husband's account, he's on my weak leg. And so when I put coaches under him, it's building that weak leg volume. And so, like I said, that your strong leg, you don't have to add as many people to that leg. You have to add more to your weak leg. And so when you switch over to that other account, it's still doing what you want it to. It's still building that weak leg since you're having to build that by yourself and you don't have any help with that one. So that's the bullet, helps your own business center's weak leg volume. So then the other thing, so team cycle bonuses, when we talked about the 100, 200, 100, 200, well, what's happening is in Jeff's account, he's getting team cycle bonuses. So it's going 100, 200, 100, 200 under his account. But then that volume is still my volume. And so then that same volume is my volume. And so I'm getting team cycle bonuses off that same volume. So you're doubling up on these team cycle bonuses. You're doubling up on the volume. So hopefully that makes sense. You're getting kind of like double money off that same volume. And so because of that, what I do is anytime someone orders like a base kit, like something, a base kit is a challenge pack without Shakeology. Anytime they order that, or maybe they order, that's pretty much all people order besides a challenge pack for me so far. But anyways, anything that's not going to give me any Success Club points, I always put them under Jeff because it's still volume. And so he's going to get the team cycle bonuses and that volume will help him, but then it's also my volume. So if I only put it under me, then it wouldn't give Jeff anything. And so it's kind of nice to have somewhere to put that volume under that will help us 2 times. And like for me and Jeff, we have the same bank account number in each of those 2 accounts. And so it doesn't really matter which account it came from. It's just adding to my overall income. So the one thing though is when you sign a significant other account, one thing that you're probably going to be thinking about is how are you going to afford to have 2 Shakeology orders for both of you? So for me and Jeff both, coincidentally, we both really, really love Shakeology. So we drink it and that works for us. But a lot of people, their significant other doesn't drink Shakeology, and that's fine. There's a lot of coaches and that happens and their significant other doesn't want to drink Shakeology, and it's okay. If you're wanting to get both of your accounts in Success Club, then that's where it gets a little bit trickier because, we just went over Success Club. It's a little bit more requirements for Success Club. And if you're not drinking Shakeology, it'll be a little more, or if he's not drinking Shakeology, it'll be a little more effort to keep in Success Club. But what's important for that account is just for it to stay active. It doesn't need to hit Success Club. So if you're just making it active, because probably their account is one of the reasons why you're even Emerald in the first place. So you probably will have signed your husband on one leg and somebody else on the other leg. And if your husband goes inactive, then you won't be Emerald anymore. So until you have more coaches on that same leg as your husband, then you need to keep them active. So if you're worried about the expense of that, keeping it active, this is what you have to do. You have to keep them having 50 PV, so 50 personal volume. The thing about personal volume, though, you might not remember, but when we went over volume, personal volume is your customers' orders and your own orders. So all you have to do is every month you need to sign just one customer over on your husband. And if you do that, then they have 50 PV, and that's it. So but like I said, if they're already drinking Shakeology and they're getting the 90 PV home direct, that's going to be taken care of anyways. So they can just sit there. So if like your mom wants to drink Shakeology, then maybe she would be a good center to have, because then you don't even have to think about it. But if you don't have someone that's going to drink Shakeology every single month to be your other center that you can work, then you might think of doing your husband or whoever, and then just making sure that you sign a customer over on their account just to keep them active. And it makes sense. I mean, Beachbody wants to know how many active and inactive coaches, and you can't just sit there and be a coach and then never sign anybody. So it makes sense why like it's inactive or active. And then, so that's what you would do. You would hit Success Club or whatever your goal is for your own account, and then you would add one customer under their account. And then a lot of times people will buy Energize or Focus Energy. I haven't gotten super into that yet, but what I have been doing is when I buy prizes for my groups, I always put it under Jeff's account because, like I said, you get team cycle bonuses twice. And then also, if Jeff wasn't drinking Shakeology 1 month or something like that, then it would help that 50 PV. So in the future, what that's going to do, so at the very initial sign up of your significant other center, it will help you get to Emerald because you have a coach on one side and a coach on the other, and probably that one coach is going to be your significant other center. But later on down the road, you will be able to hit your goals in your own account and then work on their account. And slowly and surely, that account will become Emerald. And when you have an Emerald on each of your legs, just like when you first have a coach on either of your legs and you get to Emerald, when you have an Emerald on both of your legs, that's part of the criteria to become Diamond. So signing up your significant other account is really good because you have more control over your rank. So in control for the Diamond part, and then later you'll slowly grow your significant other account to Diamond, and that will make you 1-star Diamond. So I know that you guys might not understand completely all the criteria for each rank, but I hope that can kind of show you how having an account underneath you that you have full control over, you can control if they're active, you can control if they grow their rank. It helps you later on. And our upline coach, Jessica Vanderberg, her husband's account, who he doesn't coach at all, he makes a 6-figure income every year. So it's crazy. Tanya's does too. It's crazy. So if they wouldn't have done that from the get-go, and the very first one of their coaches on their weak leg, their first coach, their husbands their account wouldn't have made as much money. Because like I said, he's right here, and every time I add someone else to that leg, they go automatically underneath him. So all of that volume all the way down the line, he's going to cycle off of, and then I'm going to cycle off it again. So if he was like, there was like a person, and then him, he's not going to get any of the volume above him from all of those other people that I signed first. So that's why we're even talking about this. Is it seems like a big jump to do, like, okay, it's your second person or your first person you signed as your husband when you just signed up. But actually later on down the road, you'll be thankful that you know the information, because that center is going to be building and making more money. And like I said, it could, if you are serious about this business, it could make just as much as your account almost. I think, the last thing on this slide is it might be an investment when you sign up your husband or your significant other center. But one idea, there are multiple ideas of how you can get that money back, but one thing that me and Jenny have done before is we'll buy, instead of Shakeology, we'll buy the sampler packets, and we just sell those for $5 a piece. So you could sign your husband underneath you with a challenge pack, and then part of the challenge pack, you would have the sampler packets, and then you just sell it and make all your money back for that initial investment, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, just to keep them active, you just keep on signing a customer underneath them. So don't feel like you're going to have to spend a lot more money, like 2 Shakeology bags every single month to keep that active. It's just the customer way is one of the best ways. And then if you decide that you want to buy anything else from Beachbody, just put them under that account and just watch it really closely to make sure he doesn't go inactive. But yeah, any questions?
So I was just gonna, no questions yet, but I was just gonna add for you guys, just so that you know that we sort of have one of each scenario. So I am someone who did not get told this information in the beginning. I didn't come across it until, because when I got started coaching, I got started fast. I was into it and I decided that if I was gonna do it, I was gonna really do it. So by the time I saw this strategy, I had already had I had enough to be diamond. I just needed emerald. So I had 8 coaches total under me already. I had 4 on each leg. And then I saw that I should add my significant other. And I was like, what? So I was really, really bummed that somebody hadn't told me this in the beginning. And I'm over it. That's completely fine. I actually did sign David, and he's like 5 people down. But I swear to you, like every single month, I look at it and I'm like, if only I could have, all of this volume from these coaches on David, it would be really nice. So I know with my personally sponsored coaches, I have told them, hey, look, like I know that I didn't get this information told to me, and I'm losing out on a huge opportunity by not having him there. But if somebody had told me that, I would have done it immediately, because as soon as I found out, I was like, light bulb, duh, like that's such a good idea, but I never would have thought of that by myself. So that was our purpose in telling you guys this, is that Carly got that told to her right away. And that has benefited her so much, whereas I didn't get that opportunity. And so that's why I was so passionate about telling my coaches about it. So, and then also just to add to what Carly said, you make commission off of buying your second challenge pack, and then you get Success Club points. So those are 2 benefits that you get, because in the month that you sign your mom or dad or significant other, then you get 2 Success Club points for the challenge pack. You get another workout that you want to try, because being a coach, you kind of want to have opportunities. And then also you make that $40, $50, $60. Then you can sell the Shakeology for $5 a packet. At $5 a packet for 24 packets, plus your commission, you're actually making like $20 profit off of it. So just so that you guys know, that's a really good option that she brought up. And that's what I would suggest doing. That's what I did with David's.
Yeah, because you make like $40 at least from the commission off of that challenge pack. So say you do a $140 challenge pack, that's $100 bag of Shakeology, like $100 for everything. And that's Shakeology in there too. So it's like the first one is like a really good deal for just $100. So anyways, that's a good.
And so I hope that you guys were able to take something from the call, and that we didn't just confuse you more. The biggest thing to remember in this business, like I said in the beginning, is you do want to take it all and dive right in. That's sort of the best way to succeed, but you don't have to do that. You can take it as slow as you want, but each piece of information that you get, just take one by one. Do all the research that you want, but don't overwhelm yourself. It will all come in time. You will learn slowly. So if any of this information confused you, please don't hesitate to ask questions, and as many as you want. Carly and I are still both big question askers. And that's why we've gotten as far as we have so far, because if a question pops into our head, you will probably see it in the 360 page, or you will probably see the 1,000 messages that we send to our coaches. So don't feel like you're bothering either of us as your coaches, because I guarantee you we've bothered our own coaches more. So I don't know if you guys saw my post in Team 360. I literally just came across this today in the Beachbody Cup Champions page. I was just kind of looking around for stuff. And Carl Daikeler is our CEO. If you guys haven't seen him talk, he's so funny. I have like a mini crush on him in a weird way. He's so funny. And I love listening to him talk. And every talk that I've heard from him has pumped me up just a little bit more, whether it be at Summit or it be the Success Club, CEO talk or whatever that I got to be on the call. He is really, really inspiring, and he does it in a way that is it's just really, really motivating to listen to him talk. So he does these surge calls like once a month, maybe once every other month, where they're not really planned. He just says like, yo, I'm going to do this 90-minute call, and here's what it's about, and you have to be on it. So I just came across this today, and I think it's pretty new because I was the first one to post about it in 360. He's going to do it on Thursday, September 1st. And it's going to be from 5 to 6:30. So guys, I know it's really, really long, but if it's long for a purpose. And what he wants is he wants coaches, he wants leaders on there, yes, but he wants the leaders to get their new coaches on there. So some of you aren't brand new coaches, but this is still going to be something that's really, really beneficial for you. And if you have new coaches, get them on this call. Let them know that this is not something that is normal. 90 minutes is a long time, and it's a big commitment. As a new coach, I know that having a family from 5 to 6:30, that I'm probably going to have a significant other who is not super thrilled about this call, but I'm going to stress the importance to him and let him know that I want to be on it. They're going to be going over the 4 vital behaviors, why it's important, and they're going to really focus it on new coaches. So us all being new coaches, I think within like at least a year, 6 months, I think I've been coaching maybe the longest out of our group, maybe. But we're all pretty new, so this is going to be a good call for us to be on. So make that a priority if you can. And then if my coaches personally, all of you are obviously welcome to do this. I hope that you're all setting September goals. But my personally sponsored coaches who are on this call, I want you to start thinking about your September goals. Yes, I want you to remember that it is still August and you still have August goals to finish out, but start thinking about your September goals. And if you could either post them in our team page if you're comfortable with it, or just email them to me just so that I can stay on track with your goals and help you meet them. So if you could please send me your goals, I would love that. It's not a requirement, but I'm always here to help you as much as you want to be helped. So if you send me your goals, I promise I will do my best to keep you accountable to them.
And then just my closing announcement, a lot of the coaches that I have right now have just started. So I have probably, hopefully, just heard your goals from the email I sent to you guys. So if you haven't sent me your goals, then please do that. So I know, like you just saw, like we need to know your goals so that we know how to guide you to set up your legs right and to set up your business and to know like how much you even want to be bothered by us. So please send those goals. And if you have already, there's a Coach Basics training that I'm running my first one this next month. And so that's starting on Monday, September 5th. We always started on a Monday, and it's 21 days long. And so Coach Basics taught me so much, and I'm using the same outline as Vanessa did. So it's really, really, really you attend Coach Basics and go through the whole every single week, because there's so much good information, and it really starts you off on the right foot, and then it starts you coming up with your own questions and your own vision for your own business. So really important, but that will be September 5th. So yeah.
So I don't think I don't think we have any questions. So I'll just kind of close it out. You guys are welcome. I'm going to unmute. Is that a bad move? I'm going to unmute everybody, and you can just kind of let us know if you have any questions. You guys are all unmuted, so don't talk about us out loud. Is that it? Mostly, though, I wanted to make sure that we said thank you to everybody who made it on this call live. We are recording it, so if you guys want to rewatch it, that's perfectly fine. I know that taking notes is hard sometimes when it's live. So I hope that everybody was able to at least get a little bit of something. But thank you seriously so much for making the time to, on a Sunday night, I know a lot of you work tomorrow morning, taking the time out to be live on a team call is huge. So thank you very much for making it on here. It makes us feel like we didn't do all the work for nothing. So I appreciate it a lot.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to turn it off now. So I will get this posted in Carly, I'll post it in New Kids on the Block so that you can have the copy of it unless you recorded it yourself. And then that way we can each post it in our team pages. But I hope everybody has a good night. And then if you did have any questions, just reach out to your coach and let us know.